Hello, I'm Ameya Kalgutka for the Habit Foundation podcast, and I'm here joined by Smeet Mehta.
Hi, this is Smeet. I'm from 100x VC, also co-founder of Get Virtual, which was training for students to become freelancers. And in turn, they used to help small businesses build their online solutions while during COVID, they were struggling to get any source of revenue. So we helped them build big Shopify websites, and that kind of became a revenue source for these small businesses.
Sir, I would want to talk about your journey and your evolution across from the start of your journey. So, how would that be?
I'm still super young. I'm still 23, so nothing crazy as such. But ideally, I've been a lot into doing events and talking to a lot of building projects, building kind of some kind of legacy, which has been exciting to me. And so initially started with TEDx at my college in Hiranandani Foundation School, and then from there I went to UC Santa Cruz, where I ran the e-cell over there. We don't have a business school, so it was kind of a interesting way of building the whole system there. And then Get Virtual came in during COVID, where we've now scaled it to almost 200 odd, 250 plus businesses that we've held across US, and more than 400 plus students have taken this course, and it's for credit. So every student, for the work they do, they get college credit, and it helps in their graduation. So it's real life experience, and that has been one of the most rewarding parts of me. And then I wasn't doing academically that well, while I took some time off and I did 4 internships, one at an incubation center called Riddle in Somaya University in Mumbai. And then that was interesting. Worked with a couple of companies there, trying to find how we can go to market, trying and figuring out the strategies along with them. So that was one. Then worked at a fintech company called ePayLater as a founder office intern. And there, a lot of hands-on work was able to help the team there to at least figure out certain sales channel, how on-field sales wasn't working out. So kind of work towards that on creating strategies for that. And as a founder office role, you do a lot of marketing and all things related to that. So that is how work there. And then at ICICI startup engagement team, where looked at fintech companies from a different perspective and understood how they work and how the functioning of a bank works. So that was interesting to me. And then I've been with 100x as a family office from Meta Ventures. We've been working, as investors of 100x, looked at a lot of deals and worked on those deals. So that's ideally been what I've done since last 6 years.
How has the journey of 100x been, and how has your integration in the 100x team has been?
Sure. For me, I'm part of the family which started 100x. Sanjay Mehta is my dad, and he kind of started this after his 10 years or so in angel investments. As a family office, Mehta Ventures family office, he's been able to do a 106% IRR on his personal investments, and that kind of got him into saying, okay, there's a gap for lead investors, and can we create good leads for the ecosystem? So we come in at a very early stage. It might be idea stage or even pre-revenue, and we want to back founders who are just trying to scale fast, work with them and build with them. So we do a 1.25 crore check for all the companies. We do a cohort based model where we invest in 15-20 companies at a time, and then we work with them for for almost 6 months, and then 1 month they are in Mumbai, where they do go through a lot of master classes, and that's how it works. And then on our pitch day, we open it up to all the investors in the community that we've worked with over years, and they come in and they kind of try to do a follow-on check after us. So that's kind of how 100x works. And for me, I've been an analyst. I've tried to see how I can source more deals, work with different founders. Today I was judging a pitch competition here. I found an interesting guy, look forward to working with him and seeing, okay, probably we could fund him or whatever, how it works. Let's see.
Sir, you talked about being an analyst and someone who is an analyst himself. What is the analysis and what is the understandings and where do you source information for your analysis?
Sure. So for us as an analyst, it's more of a sourcing analyst. So our job is to find more and more deals that we can invest in. Ideally, for us, it's going to LinkedIn, trying to look at founders, going to events like these where you talk to founders, you learn what they're building, and then if the founders are interesting, you kind of move it up the ladder and see if you can invest in them. So other than that, it is Traction is a good platform, Crunchbase, and all these discovery platforms are database kind of where you can look at different startups which exist and learn from that. Or else you build connections over time. Being in the industry, that's how it has ideally worked. And we've been in collaboration with all the incubators through and through India. So a lot of the inflow comes from there. Our marketing, we've tried to showcase a lot. And as a there are 5 partners. They kind of try and post a lot on their social media, and they've been interactive and shared a lot of knowledge. So that kind of brings in a lot of the deals to us. So, and then the filtration process, and that's how it works. So ideally, as an analyst, our job is to find if we can get 1 or 2 deals. That's a big thing other than the inflow of deals that we get.
So the essential part is that finding out a good startup.
Sure.
So what do you think are key indicators that separate a good startup from a not so good one?
Sure. So we come in super early. So for us, first is the founder, their backgrounds, or maybe if even you are young and you don't have such background, it's like how immersed are you in the market or product or the problem you are trying to solve, right? Are you in love with the problem that you are solving? Are you trying to scale it fast? Are you trying to grow big? How fast are you hungry for capital, right? So in a venture capital business, the point is that as a venture, you should be hungry for capital and growth. If that's not, then it's a normal lifestyle business. Nothing wrong with it. It's a great business, but it's just not a venture backable business. We want to look as moonshots. So if you are not going to grow, we don't want to be a living dead business that we are invested in. So it is either you grow super quick or then otherwise it doesn't work for us. So first is the founder, then it's the market for us because so there's a saying which Sanjay has is great founder, bad market, it's okay, nothing happens. Okay founder, great market, market wins. But if great founder and great market, that's where the magic happens. So that is where you want to be investing, and those are the founders we want to work with. And we are happy, even if founders are naive and very early, it's fair, you're learning, but are you able to show that pace is what we want to look at.
Sir, could you tell me about some of the experiences that you had with founders so far that presented this kind of experience or this kind of drive?
Sure. So class 8 or 9, I don't remember, 9 I think, there's a company called Up Coffee, which is kind of now known by everyone. So we were the first check in them. Initially, so when I was talking about the 1 month where all the companies are in Mumbai, this is a Mumbai-based guy. We've invested already. The money is transferred. But in the master classes, at some of them he didn't show up, and we were like, bro, what? But and that wasn't nice. But on the other end, he was trying to just execute. Nothing else mattered to him other than execution of the product. So execution of the business. So he was pure execution. Before, almost at the pitch day, he had a term sheet in hand. So he knew what he was doing. He was executing. He was pushing the boundaries. Right now, I don't know. They're in 3 cities, 50 plus outlets. So that's the pace we want to look at. We want to back founders who are going to be there, do that, just want to run the wave, use that pace. So now he has momentum, right? So now any VC would like to back them and go ahead. So yeah, and it's a great market. Everybody is building in this space. a lot of old legacy players have been there for a while now. There's a lot of new young companies who are building. So it's a good wave to ride, but as well as the founder is determined, he wants to build. So that is one insane one story for you.
Sir, would you say that legacy businesses also have been incorporating that startup culture in them? Like all legacy businesses have been transforming themselves. For example, we could take streaming as an example. It was streaming was a startup. Now all legacy businesses have transformed their model from actually cable or TV to streaming. So is there that shift also happening from legacy businesses becoming more dynamic and fast?
Yes, it's always going to be that because survival of the fittest, whatever the market wants, market kind of runs the trends. But there's another end to it as well where you are like, oh, I am creative. You know what? Sometimes consumers don't know what they want, and if you are legacy players, you have a lot of data, you have a lot of understanding at the core, and there's no joke of building such big businesses. Okay, you might have certain products which is not appeasing or not interesting to the younger audience, but at the core you have still solved a problem at a large. So it is interesting to understand how these businesses, how you can be fast growing as well as you understand the data, you have lot more you have distribution. So let's say Pidilite as a company, they have massive distribution. They are still number one. There are many companies which have come and tried to build around it, but you can't. Nobody is able to crack that. You don't know any. Do you know any adhesive companies
it's
which
too
is
big.
who is against Fevicol? No, right? So as a brand, if you have a brand, if you have great distribution, marketing at the core, if your fundamentals are right, it's very tough for anybody to enter.
Venture capital, is there any benefit for being the underdog? Like several entrepreneurs that you bag are the underdog. So how do they make forward?
As in, can you rephrase this?
Like small businesses, do they have a chance against these legacy businesses to actually break through into the market? Like a small underdog could be Tesla. It was an underdog, but now it's a major car manufacturer. So are there stories like this that could happen?
Yeah, so the delta 4 theory, right? So you have to build great products, which is if you're trying to disrupt a market which already exists, your product has to be 4x better, 4x innovative, 4x faster, better priced, everything. So Tesla did that. Tesla is a 4 times better product. EV space is a bonus, but it's not that it's as a car, it's such a good product, right? So that increase, the pricing is there. They kind of went from top to bottom. So
There's a cult of personality of the founder as well.
exactly. So then your product is 4x better, then you can disrupt. So you need that if you are disrupting a market, your product needs to be that much better. If you are going to be in a like equal products, there's brand loyalty at certain level. I mean, okay, it's dying at a level that's a different story, but uh, brand trust, rather, if a big brand exists, I would rather trust that until and unless your product is so much better and I believe in you, then it's a different story.
Also, I wanted to talk about the young entrepreneurs that would be watching this. What would you suggest as key factors for them to be good entrepreneurs?
Understand and love your problem. If you love the problem, there's enough and more problems to solve. If you love the problem that exists and you're trying to solve, you'll find a way to find a solution around it. If you find a solution, then it's pays, be out there, show up to places, be diligent how you work. You don't need to be arrogant, be humble, try to understand what people are doing. There are people who've already built on. So the more you are open to knowledge and learning, the more it becomes easier for you to grow. And once you have space, understanding and dominance and understanding, then you have a lot of area for you to grow and build it.
As a venture capitalist, what key things that you look for in a business? Like this is something that has to be there in a business.
Founder needs to be humble and honest. That's all we care. And honestly, you're trying to build big. That's all. Any disruption, what are you trying to create? We are happy to back.
Are there any market trends that you would say that are happening right now that people need to push their focus or move their focus towards?
So the biggest market trend or the understanding for next 10, 20, 50 years is going to be climate action. So climate change. So you need to understand that it's a problem and you need to build towards it. May it be from the material level to probably EVs, batteries, or green hydrogen, whatever it might be, right? At every core level, even this plastic bottle to use this is not, it's not nice, right? And this is very bad plastic. Can we change in habits, change in thought process, awareness? So everybody has a role to play in it. How can we all come together and work towards saying how do we make a better planet? So that is always, if you're building in this for next 10 years, probably right now as we see it, one issue what ends up being is a lot of research, it's tough to fund it, and we don't see immediate returns, which is sad. But there are specialized funds which actually are there, which understand the space, who want to be backing that, and that's how it works. So we've invested in a lot of battery tech companies, one called EMO and batteries. They have their own electric battery. There's battery pool which does battery swapping for two-wheelers and three-wheelers. There's a Breathe ESG which is ESG auditing company. So there's a lot of those kind of companies that we backed, and that is always going to be me personally. So I was in Santa Cruz in California. Over there I learned a lot about how processes work, why is it so important. That was big for me when I was back there.
So, how was the investment journey or the startup atmosphere in California? Like, it has been the birthplace of some of the most historic startups
Of
in
course.
the world.
Yeah, so we are down the hill, so it's always said. So Netflix came out of Santa Cruz,
Yeah.
interestingly, but uh, it's funny because we are so close to the valley, but we are still uh, probably 15 years behind, as in Santa Cruz, where I was specifically. But as a community, it is so ready because there's all the guys who've retired from tech are back in Santa Cruz because it's such a nice place to live in.
It is.
So then all these experienced guys are ready to give their time, their money, whatever it is, right? So they are ready for helping every kinds of business, and the university there is ready to back. The trustees of the universities are ready to back. So the culture is growing in Santa Cruz specifically. California, obviously, as a whole, in the valley and all those things is different.
Santa Cruz, Santa Monica, Silicon Valley.
Yeah, so all those things are there, but Silicon Valley as a whole is very different. We are still very nascent and small. For any businesses over there, it will take time, but there is enough and more resources which are building, and I've loved to see that while I was there for 5 years. I've enjoyed the process of building that community, working with that community. So yeah.
So, in California and now here in India, what key differences that you see and what things we should implement from them as a thing that is could be helpful for us?
I think someone today said was about how we have talent, they have the money, and money is flowing towards India. We are in the right space at the right time. It is just to find the right ideas and show that energy. The money will follow you. So there's a lot of money. People are thinking big. We at a surface level, for us जुगाड़ से हो जाता है काम तो बड़ा क्यों सोचे. For us, convenience is not there yet, right? So obviously with Zeptos and all, the convenience part has changed and it's increasing, but it's okay. How do we look at the time, which is how do we start valuing time more? How can we start valuing? Valued money, we have not valued time. So once we start valuing time, a lot of things will change, and that as a thought process will help us grow. Also, as environment friendly, how can we start thinking way more earthy? Bamboo as a company has grown so much. Like, how do we back more of those kind of companies and work with them? Is what we need to learn.
Okay, so thank you for the interview.
Sure. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.